It's time for E3, baby. Hey everybody, I'm Jammer, wearing the JammerProHD suit, ready here today. E3 2018 is next week. It's a week from today. Yeah. Actually, we'll already have seen the Nintendo Direct by this point, a week from today. Without further delays, that's why I'm here, to give you my predictions for the Nintendo Direct E3 2018
directory
to you. Before we even get started and talk about the games and getting into it, I mean, it's quite obvious that there's been kind of a lapse in new releases this year so far. The second year of the Switch has been kind of a little underwhelming. Not including ports, the only really new game we've gotten this year for the Switch was Kirby Star Allies. I mean, beyond that, obviously we've had Bayonetta 1 and 2, Hyrule Warriors, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, but really, for new experiences anyways, Kirby Star Allies has been the only thing. And obviously there's no way they could have even topped the first year having monthly releases. I wasn't expecting that, but the point I'm trying to bring up is that all these Koreans, they really need to take this E3 seriously. They gotta come in swinging for the rest of 2018 because they've kind of just been floating around with the Switch. A lot of indies been pushing it, a lot of third-party people have been pushing the Switch, but Nintendo hasn't done a lot of first-party publishing a lot this year anyways. We got Mario Tennis Aces coming up in the next few weeks, but otherwise beyond that, we don't really know what's coming up next. There are a few things that have been released, but beyond that, the rest of this year seems to be kind of a mystery. And that's what this E3 is going to be about. It's really covering these next 6 months of games throughout the rest of the year. Now what are we waiting for? Let's start talking about some games. First and foremost, it's already been plenty announced. We're gonna have a huge Smash blowout this year. Huge Smash blowout. Similar to the year where they showed off Pac-Man in 2014, I believe, right before the game came out. It's gonna be a very similar kind of theming for E3 this year. I think it's gonna be very Smash focused, and as it should be. Smash is a major release. I think we're gonna get a release date, and as far as that, for me anyways, I think it's actually going to coincide with the paid online server. I noticed someone talking about maybe they made a test fire for Smash, but dude, Smash doesn't even need a test fire for people to adopt to that game, trust me. I initially thought it'd be an October title, right before November, because November is going to be Pokemon, which we'll touch on later. But I think it makes a lot more sense just to launch it with this online service. It just really depends if it's going to be ready or not. Because I could know tons of people who are not only buying a Switch for Smash, but of course they're going to buy the paid online service alongside it. So it's going to be basically force a bunch of early adopters. While yes, it still could be a similar kind of release if it came out a month later, I think it'd be a little bit different to where they'll see the online server for a month and maybe make a decision whether it's worth even using or not for Smash. It really all depends. It could be either month, but I'm kind of leaning towards it coming out in September and being like a surprise, hey, this is coming out a lot sooner than you expected, which would be like, what? Beyond that, I think we're going to get a major blowout for this game. We're going to learn all about it. We're going to learn whether it's support or not, which I don't think it is. I think it's a new game. We're going to see a plethora of new characters and probably some new third-party reveals. There's been a rumor a while back that Activision and Nintendo have had that partnership because obviously the insane Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is coming to the Switch. And then there's also been the leaks from some retailers saying that the Spyro Trilogy remake is also becoming Switch as well. So people kind of elaborating beyond that, they're thinking that maybe Crash as well as even Spyro might be making an appearance here in Super Smash Bros. So those could be two third-party characters that might be revealed at E3. Beyond that, I think we're going to get some first-party reveals of some new characters. Who? I don't know. It could be anybody, honestly. It could be new characters like people from ARMS or Xenoblade 2. It could be old characters like Waluigi, Toad. It could be really anybody. And I've already talked about plenty what I want in other previous videos, but we're going to get a blowout of information. Where it's just gonna show us everything, man. Everything. Or if it even is just a shorter trailer, or like kind of an overview trailer, it's like a 5 to 10 minute section, if even 10 minutes, jeez. We're gonna see a lot of coverage through Treehouse, as well as other streams and whatever. So we're gonna see a lot of Smash. We haven't seen any new Amiibo in a while, and I don't know in general, for that matter. And they might announce new stuff here. Who knows whether it's in regards to Smash or not. I just kind of gave you my general impressions. If I want to do, I might save all my specific predictions for Smash in an upcoming video just as a follow-up to this one because I just have a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. But to give a quick preview to that, while it is going to be the focus of this year's E3, I still think it might have a more minimal role in the actual Direct itself. As I'm saying, I don't expect like a 15 or 10 minute video all talking about it and explaining it, you know. Smash in the past has been very successful just in and out short trailers, just enough to get people hyped, you know. They don't need people explaining and talking about it. It's no Splatoon where people need to be explained how to play it. It's no ARMS where people need to understand how to even play this game. People know Smash. Like you saw with the previous trailer, it was literally just, we saw inklings, couple of silhouettes, and a Smash logo. And that was enough to break the internet. Anyways, I'm going to talk about that again later. Let's move on to the next prediction. I mentioned it earlier, I'll just talk about it now, Pokemon Let's Go. Pokemon has typically never really had big reveals at E3, they usually do their own events, like they did with the Pokemon Direct a few years back, like they just barely did with this Pokemon presentation and announced Quest, Let's Go, and the new game coming out. Last year at E3 anyways, they did at least announce there was a Switch game coming for Pokemon and just kind of left it at that. However, I think Let's Go Pokemon is going to have a pretty good emphasis this year, because all we've seen so far is just the reveal of it. I think we're going to see lots of gameplay footage through Treehouse. I think we'll get maybe a new trailer and maybe showing off some new stuff. Since it was just barely announced, I don't expect a huge blowout by comparison anyways. Considering it's coming out in November, it's their holiday title, they gotta start talking about it, you know? And since we know as little as we do, this is a perfect place to show it off. I don't expect them to show off anything in regards to Gen 8. If they would have done that, they would have showed it last time, you know? I know there are so many fans out there that are upset. I don't want to get into it. Perhaps maybe those fans might be thinking, oh, this is the way to redeem themselves from Let's Go by showing off Gen 8 stuff. It's not going to happen. No, Let's Go is going to be their focus for the rest of this year. They're really, I don't expect them talking about Gen 8 for another year from now. I don't expect them showing off any sort of reveal for it until the typical time when Pokemon Company shows off their stuff in their own directs and their own stuff, like, you know, a few weeks from today, you know, behind us. A year ago. A year from now. Point is, what I'm trying to say is, as far as Pokemon presents, I really just expect Let's Go Pokemon, and that's it. And yeah, that's all I really gotta say about that. Next prediction. Anyway, still going off the games we know about, I think they're gonna finally talk about Yoshi, the Yoshi game. They announced that, when? Like, it was a year ago, last year's E3. Have we seen anything since? I swear, Yoshi games of recently have had such a weird life cycle. Like, Woolly World, I think, came out 6 months prior in the European territories, and then finally came to America way after. So that development cycle was already pretty weird. And this one's looking pretty crazy too, because, I mean, we've seen one thing of it, and it was never mentioned since. I mean, I always kind of expect it to be a later fall release anyways. Maybe September-ish game, I mean, depending what Smash does, obviously. This might be finally the time they're going to bring this back up and talk about it, because maybe it's had some issues, and hopefully they've started to resolve it. It's been a year since we last saw it, and that's a game I'm looking forward to. I think this is finally the place to talk about it again. A year since they last talked about it. I think we'll finally get a release date. Like I said, I think it's not going to be holiday season. It could be October, depending if Smash is November, or they might be flopped. So it can be probably either or. Anyways, I got nothing else really to say about that. We're going to see some Yoshi. Next prediction. The Splatoon Octo expansion. Nintendo's Twitter has been showing off a lot for that game. Really ramping up the hype for it. Showing off trailers here and there, new gameplay bits, new stuff. And it was such a hype thing when it was first announced. It's coming out in the next few weeks. Maybe next month. July? I think comes out in July. I don't even remember. Point is, I think we're going to see some new stuff here, and it's going to be a pretty big blowout. Something new, something hype, something as crazy as seeing a playable Octoling, you know. Something to just continue to drop hype for that game. I'm sure we'll talk about a potential update coming to the game, like, I think we're on 4.0 now, so maybe a 5.0 big expansion, explosion, you know, as well as the DLC. They've been continuing to give support for Splatoon, and I don't see them stopping anytime soon, so I think that's another presence that's definitely going to be here at E3, because that just seems like a staple of E3, you know? Nintendo showing off their Splatoon stuff. Always happens. More than likely, the trailer will be in the format of the Squid Research people, again, as always, but I would almost love to see it as, like, an announcement with Marina and Pearl announcing the DLC. It's a news story for Marina and Pearl to report on, but it also works as a trailer. They're bantering back and forth like, oh my gosh, there's like crazy stuff going on in the sewers and Octo Valley's under it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. They'll reiterate the release date. They'll talk about whatever. There's not much else I need to say about it, but yeah, I think we're going to see some Octo expansion stuff. Next prediction. So now let's get into some games that we know are coming, but have not heard anything about it in a while anyways. Oh, before I say that, yeah, they're going to talk about Octopath Traveler, but I have nothing to say about that. whatever. I think they're gonna talk about the Fire Emblem game that they announced a while back, saying there's a mainline Fire Emblem game coming to the Switch. And there was a rumor a little bit back talking about like the surname for it being Pokemon. Oh my gosh, Pokemon. Fire Emblem Memories or something like that. I don't know. It could be that. Could be anything, honestly. But I think this is definitely a place to finally talk about that, show that off. It's supposed to come out this year. So it's definitely clear we should be seeing it relatively soon. As far as when it releases, I don't know. It could be the December title, but also I could see it being earlier. Like, it's kind of in a weird spot. Fire Emblem typically comes out in the spring of each year, like a March title usually. However, we could maybe even see it being delayed till then. Not just to try to align release dates or anything, but just because we've seen so little of it, you know? Perhaps it's not ready. As always, we'll see the new story stuff, the new characters, blah, blah, blah. There'll be some callbacks to the previous series. Do I need to even get into specific predictions? They're gonna show it off. They're gonna talk about a either generalized release date or a definitive one. That's that. Next prediction. Now let's get into some of the rumors that we've been hearing, and the Star Fox racing game they talked about, the Star Fox Lilat system, or whatever they're talking about. There was a lot of credible people talking about it. I almost said incredible. They were incredible. They are credible people. There was a lot of people backing this rumor and talking about, hey, this definitely looks like it's gonna be a real thing. And if it is, I think obviously, well, they're gonna show it off here at E3, obviously, right? And I think that's something I'm actually really looking forward to. If it's something similar to how Diddy Kong Racing worked, where there's like 3 different types of vehicles and you use that to your advantage. Star Fox as a series has been all over the place lately, and I know Zero had a very mixed reception. A lot of people did enjoy it for what it was, but a lot of people were just totally against it. So I think this would definitely be a place to kind of rejuvenate the series, and yes, it's still a spin-off, but maybe they're still trying to refine how they want to get that gameplay to work. Because they could just release another game, but what if it ends up like Zero? I don't really see the appeal of trying to ask for another entry in that series, because I think the developers just need to take some time to figure it out again. Kind of remix the formula, really nail it again to center on that fun. In the meantime, I think experimenting with this racing genre is not a bad idea. I mean, you're in the ship as much as you are in the regular gameplay anyway, so I think through racing, you can offer different kinds of objectives, gameplay opportunities, as well as just hone that kind of idea, that craft for how they want to format the next game. I think it's a pretty likely prediction, honestly, here for Switch. What? Next prediction. I don't even want to predict this. Pikmin 4, no, we're not predicting it. We're done predicting it. I've been predicting it for years now. I don't even think Miyamoto was right when he said it was almost done. Or it's just sitting there in limbo. Who knows? I would love just some clarity about that interview. Maybe he didn't even mean to say Pikmin 4 was coming. I'm a little over it, and I'm not predicting it this year. Next, we're moving on. Next. Just watch. Now that I didn't predict it, they're going to announce it. Next prediction. Metroid Prime 4. I meant to mention this earlier, but we saw it last year. All we saw was a 4 and a logo. People exploded. I exploded. And now I don't think the release is anytime soon. I think we still got at least another year, if not even 2. I hope not. I hope it comes out next year. But I think this is finally the time we're going to see a little bit more of how this game plays and what this world's going to be looking like, what Samus will look like. I don't expect a full, huge blowout, but maybe some sort of teaser trailer, 2 to 3 minutes, enough to just get people hype. And then following up and ending it with just, hey, 2019, look forward to it. And then when it actually comes out, I think it'll be still pretty late 2018. Don't think January. 2019, oh my gosh, my years are mixed up. I think we're finally going to see what this whole package is, what the gameplay is like. Have they changed it? Is it motion controls like it was in Trilogy? Are they using like Joy-Cons like that? Or are they taking advantage of the Switch somehow? Like, I think this is finally the time. I think after this trailer, we're still going to have a lot of questions. There's still going to be a lot of things up in the air, and I don't think they're going to clarify them. That's just what they're gonna do. I do think we'll finally see something a little more concrete, something to speculate off of, something just to get hype over, and this is the place to do it. Like I said, I don't expect a release date anytime soon, and if they do announce it, yeah, it's at least next year, at the very least. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to scream my head over that stupid game, because I'm so excited for it. Next game! Animal Crossing. However, not Animal Crossing. I'm actually predicting against it. For a while I've been saying, when are we hearing about it? Is it going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know if it's time yet still. I think they have a lot still lined up, and there's still other predictions I do need to talk about, where I don't see that there's going to be room for Animal Crossing to come out this year. Maybe. No. Not even maybe. They could show it off and announce it for next year, but I think they just have as much as they do to talk about already. I don't know if they need to show off an Animal Crossing. I'm sure they're working on it, but I'm actually thinking now it might not be time to show it off yet. If it is, obviously I'll eat my words and I'll be super hyped. Don't get me wrong. And I know there was indications to something coming anyways when they talked about even making the mobile app and how it was going to have connectivity with future Animal Crossing titles. Mobile app came out, kind of just floats there now. It doesn't really get as much attention as it used to. Not that that matters anyways, but I just feel like this E3 is focused on a lot of other stuff right now. We got Pokemon, we got Splatoon, we got Smash. We got probably other crazy announcements no one was looking for, or no one was even predicting. We got Fire Emblem, third-party stuff. Like, already this 35-minute presentation is getting very, very small and condensed. It's like, we're running out of room to announce stuff. Obviously, they could pull Treehouse like last year where they announced the Metroid game, literally like the first entry of the Treehouse thing with the trailer. I don't think that'd be an Animal Crossing, though. Honestly, I could see the Animal Crossing trailer coming out later this year, being like the last direct of the year before we push into 2019. Obviously, I'd love to see it sooner. I don't think it's time yet. I did for a while, but just because how things have been going lately and just the industry trend, I'm just like, you know what? Maybe they can still need time. Maybe they can still hold on to that one. They just have big enough announcements where they don't need that one, too. I don't think Animal Crossing. No Animal Crossing. Probably. Next game. Okay, and I think there's going to be one more first-party title no one predicted. It could be anything. It could be F-Zero. It could be Punch-Out. It's something. Or even if it's just like talking about GameCube remakes, you know. There's going to be something right here that I'm predicting. This spot of the Direct. That I don't know what it is, but I think this is the surprise game. This is the one no one expected. This is the one people like are really looking forward to. I think that's what's going to fill this slot anyways. As far as what it is, could be an old series, could be like a Luigi's Mansion, could be, like I said, F-Zero or Punch-Out. I don't really expect F-Zero at this time. Sorry, guys. Could be a Mother 3, or it could be just, you know, GameCube remakes, like a Paper Mario. Speaking of Paper Mario, dude, they're not announcing a new game, Paper Mario. They better not. Because I'm done with Sticker Star, Sticker Splash. I'm done with it. There was a rumor a little bit that leaked the exact date when they were going to announce the online service, whatever. And attached to that, they did talk about a Paper Mario thing being announced at E3. Okay, I don't think it's going to happen. No way. Yeah, they got one thing right, but it doesn't mean everything is lead to be true. I mean, it gives it a little bit of credibility, but it doesn't mean everything is going to be true on that list. They could have gotten only maybe a few sources of accurate information and then just threw in their own stuff just to get hype factor. Because, I mean, people do that. Point is, I don't expect any Paper Mario, so don't even tempt me. Don't even tempt me. Alright, let's move on. Next game. Now getting into third-party stuff. There was a big third-party blowout the other day. There was a leak showing off a lot of logos for banners that they were going to print for E3. Games including Dragon Ball FighterZ, Fortnite, Monster Hunter Double Cross, FIFA 19, Killer Queen Black, Starlink Battle for Atlas, Paladins, as well as Overcooked 2. And Tennis Aces was there, but we're talking about third-party right now. And all of those games seem very likely to come. Fortnite, nearly confirmed just because a retail recently leaked that as well. I think it was rated in Korea or something like that. Point is, that was already nearly proven to be a thing, and it makes sense. I mean, it's already running on mobile. Of course, it can run on Switch, and it's one of the biggest games in the world right now. So having it on Switch is amazing, and that information alone kind of leads credence to the rest of this list. Killer Queen Black, Starlink, Paladins. I don't hear many people saying, "Oh, please bring this to the Switch." Those are just games that are just kind of coming, you know. And Nintendo has been doing a lot to really push their third-party support, so I could really see a lot of this coming true, if not the whole thing. It makes, really none of these entries on this list are like, no way that's coming, you know? So I really could see it being a sizzle reel right at the beginning of the presentation, just slamming out a bunch of third-party titles, including all of which we just barely talked about. In addition to that, I'm sure Bethesda's working on something. They have been one of the big third-party developers that have worked so closely with Nintendo lately, with Skyrim and Doom ports, as well as trying to get Wolfenstein 2 over. I mean, I know that's been taking a while, but they're doing their best, and they're one of the big third-party developers that have gave a lot of support to the Switch. And I knew with this new Fallout anniversary thing coming out with like Fallout 76, I think, depending what Bethesda shows off, whether it's more of that or even like a Fallout 3 remake, remaster, either or both coming to the Switch, and Bethesda continued to show support there. Since we were kind of talking about it, I'll back up for a second. Mario Tennis Aces, the demo just concluded. The game comes out the week after E3. It'll have some sort of appearance. Whether it might be small and minimal, but it'll be enough to say, reminder, hey, don't worry, it's coming out next week. I mean, if you remember from last year, ARMS came out the week of E3, yet it was playable at E3. So I definitely could see them doing something similar here with Aces and bringing that in. In exception to other third-party stuff that I maybe didn't think about, and of course, plenty of indie stuff that they're going to show off. I think that's going to be the main content of this presentation. We're going to have big Smash focus. There's Mario Tennis Aces in there. There's going to be some Metroid Prime 4. There's going to be some Yoshi. There's going to be some Fire Emblem. There's going to be some Pokemon Let's Go. There's going to be maybe the Star Fox racing game. And as well, there's going to be one or even two really big announcements that no one expected to come. And those are obviously the games we're looking forward to the most, right? I don't think it'll be Animal Crossing or Paper Mario for that matter. But it really could be anything. It really could be anything. As far as third parties, I think that leak where they talked about the banners and stuff, I think it might be real. Personally, a little bummed that the show floor is going to be taken up as much as it is with tons of third-party games that don't interest me as much as first-party games do. And that kind of made me worried for the first-party releases and development. I mean, I'm a Nintendo fan. I want to play their first-party games, you know. And with all these releases we've already talked about, I'm hoping that there's stuff that are coming up pretty soon. I mean, we have a pretty blank summer still. A lot of stuff I did talk about and predict is releases coming up, you know, later in the fall or even towards holiday. There's not much coming up throughout the rest of the summer, and I hope Nintendo's not losing the momentum they had when they went into the Switch. Going into this Direct, hoping they'll prove me wrong. I'm going in with safer expectations and safer predictions, only kind of listing things we kind of know about and a few things here and there. At the end of the day, I just hope they surprise me. I hope they show me something I wasn't expecting, and I'm gonna be super hyped for it. Regardless of even the rest of the presentation, just the Smash characters announcement is enough to make me go wild. Then Metroid is a triple bonus. I'm not asking for much then, obviously. But what do you guys think? What are you looking forward to for Nintendo's E3 presentation Direct thing? What do you predict? What game do you think they're going to talk about? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to give this video a big awesome like, and if you haven't already, definitely subscribe for tons more on Nintendo E3 2018 coverage and other Nintendo Switch content. I cannot believe in a week from today I'll be in LA. Kind of blowing my mind. I'm so looking forward to it as well. It's gonna be so much fun. The Splatoon World Tournament's gonna be so much fun to watch, as well as the Smash tourney. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so hype. Remember last time with like the Mega Man's Final Smash thing? Oh my gosh, that was mind-blowing. That was so hype. This is gonna be a great year, guys, especially for people who are Smash fans. Obviously, look forward to probably a couple more videos before E3, at least elaborating my thoughts more on Smash and maybe some other games if I really want to go deep dive into those thoughts. Look forward to that. Thanks again, guys, so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!